necessarily want to be on reality TV. Like, you know, like I said, I never thought about being on a reality TV show. I always thought about just being in movies and you know, I really want to be in a movie where I can just be myself as Tanya, or not even as Tanya.
This is for real, y'all. So let's do this. We know what we gotta do. Sometimes we gotta suck it up. You ain't gotta be her best friend.
It's hard, just knowing that, especially when we're all together, because sometimes when we film one-on-one with others, that happens.
Hey everyone, this is going to feel unusual. We all understand Little Women Atlanta had its fair amount of tension, right? But here's the catch. What happened behind the curtain is even crazier. The cast is finally uncovering the reality, and it's far more jaw-dropping than anything we saw on television. From directors pushing them excessively to facing genuine emotional pressure and being taken advantage of, these ladies didn't just depart with chaos, they left with profound scars. You won't believe what they're unveiling now. Stay tuned, because this story is just commencing, and believe me, you'll want to hear every single piece of it. Let's begin with the spicy details, and no, I'm not referring to Miss Juicy. The program was notorious for its fierce disputes and outrageous altercations, but what if I mentioned those instances weren't completely authentic? Yeah, cast participants have revealed some alarming, behind-the-scenes revelations about how directors supposedly forced them to generate conflict in exchange for screen exposure. Numerous insiders claim cast members were pressured into faking fights or risked being removed from the program. If you've viewed the show, you know how heated interactions could become among the cast, especially with those legendary confrontations between Miss Juicy and Miss Minnie.
Their problem?
Your problem is you need to stay back over
No,
there.
I'm gonna stay right here. I'm gonna stay right here.
with you over
I'm gonna stay right here. I'm gonna stay right here.
I don't have time for this.
Toodles.
What if those moments were fabricated? Industry experts have compared the tactics used to provoke the cast to argue to series like Bad Girls Club and Love and Hip Hop. These reality TV powerhouses are recognized for provoking disputes for viewership, even if it means manipulating the participants. Some cast members have even spoken up about actual harm and trauma that occurred when the arguments weren't just for amusement anymore.
Oh, girl, wait. I'm bleeding.
Juicy's bleeding.
It's cool, y'all. He just wanted me.
And if you assume the chaos was simply part of the role, think again. Some of the cast were compelled to stay on alert always, walking a narrow line between authentic tension and fake rivalries. It's much harder than it appears when your income depends on portraying a persona that's not fully your own. Let's discuss cash, or the absence of it. Despite the series' major popularity, some cast members were compensated way less than you might expect. Some even had to pick up second gigs just to cover expenses during filming. Leaked agreements reveal how restrictive these deals were, with terms that allegedly banned cast members from pursuing external income, locking them in an exploitative pattern.
Cycle.
I got a real job that I'm about to go to.
I do have a
so
real job.
where I get paid.
Hey, ass bitch. That's the devil.
If that wasn't terrible enough, the directors didn't seem to bother much about the mental stability of the cast. In truth, several cast members felt manipulated, with directors more interested in ratings than their wellness. So, were they taken advantage of for entertainment? The proof indicates yes, and we all realize reality TV is intense, but the psychological impact it had on the Little Women Atlanta cast was far deeper than anyone foresaw. Anxiety, sadness, and continual stress, those were the authentic hardships. And here's the twist, directors allegedly didn't provide any mental health aid during or after filming. One cast member even supposedly checked into a psychiatric facility during a filming pause. Can you picture being under that kind of tension, constantly having your world displayed for millions to observe? And let's not overlook Miss Juicy and Money Cachet, who've both been very outspoken about how difficult stardom was for their emotional state. The non-stop trolling, the cruel remarks, it felt like existing in a mental battlefield. The emotional weight was genuine, folks.
Hi, Mother. You don't care about my mom, but I'm saying that's who care about my mom. I'm not your mom. I'm not your mom.
Now, one of the largest downsides of appearing on Little Women Atlanta was the influence it had on the cast's actual bonds. Many don't realize that the romantic plots on reality television are frequently fictional. So, imagine being in a true relationship and watching your partner flirt with someone else on screen due to a scripted narrative. That's precisely what happened to one cast member who reportedly found out her partner was cheating after viewing it air on the show. The tiny twins, Amanda and Andrea, also endured their portion of romantic turmoil, with one sister entangled in a turbulent back-and-forth relationship. Meanwhile, Monty Cachet's marriage and eventual separation were at the heart of her storyline, but it wasn't all fiction. She was sincerely struggling, witnessing her relationship dissolve in front of millions. It was harsh, and the emotional toll of having her personal life examined by the audience made everything even heavier.
It's gone. It's a wrap. Enjoying every bit of my
True reality TV style connections weren't much improved. The well-known fallouts between Miss Juicy and Miss Minnie were devastating, particularly after Minnie's early passing. While the series moved forward without her, many cast members, including Miss Juicy and Mooney, admitted they had trouble coping with her death, especially after seeing her memorial aired in the last season. Interview 532-TO-544, but even more heartbreaking were the damaged friendships. Like Mooney's complicated dynamic with Miss Juicy, which appeared to continue even after the cameras stopped recording. And have you ever seen those touching one-on-one moments and wondered, are they authentic? Well, sometimes, no. Cast participants have divulged that some friendships were actually forced for the sake of a script. Producers allegedly guided the cast into pretending to be close or even convinced them to dislike someone for more spectacle. So yeah, those explosive fights we witnessed. Much of it was fabricated chaos. Behind the scenes, these cast participants were frequently placed in uneasy circumstances, leaving them emotionally exhausted.
Wait a minute.
And that's not the sole thing that surfaced. Allegedly, the working environment on Little Women Atlanta was completely unsafe for the reality stars, and some of them even suffered harm in the process. It seems like the show might have been cutting costs when it came to the protection of its stars, and the outcome from that could have been catastrophic. Production allegedly declined to adjust sets to suit cast members with dwarfism, which is simply appalling. We're talking about a series that centers on individuals with dwarfism, yet basic alterations to the set were reportedly overlooked. Instead, cast members had to operate in a setting that wasn't built for their physical requirements, resulting in injuries and, at the very least, lots of needless pressure. Then there's the truly shady part, leaked messages suggesting the production team ignored various safety concerns. Picture that, people asking for safer settings, only for their worries to be brushed off. One cast member reportedly slipped and fell during a shoot, and get this, there were no medics available to assist. That's a huge warning sign right there.
This is not the place or the time for it.
Stop!
and if you assumed it couldn't worsen, well, it did. A prior crew member who worked on the show reportedly said the conditions were so poor, they described it as a legal case waiting to happen. That's a huge declaration. If people on the inside are calling it a catastrophe ready to explode, that's a big issue. Now, here's the part that adds a whole other dimension to the tale. Word has it that a well-known R&B singer, someone with strong industry links, privately contacted one of the Little Women Atlanta stars with a caution. The supposed message was, "Leave while you still have the chance." This wasn't just some random suggestion, it sounds like a real alert. The question is, who sent the message? Speculation hints at Kandi Burruss, the Real Housewives of Atlanta figure with connections to Bravo, the network that ran Little Women Atlanta. Kandi's been in the reality world long enough to understand how cutthroat it can get, so it wouldn't be a surprise if she stepped in to share some advice. After all, reality TV can be toxic, and if someone like Kandi noticed the warnings, it's logical she'd want to warn the cast. Interview Image 1001, we're obligated to be around each other, so you know, it's just non-stop, 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 you know, and worse and worse and worse, and it doesn't end there. Little Women Atlanta and similar shows like it have faced a lot of backlash. Many say these sorts of reality programs might actually reinforce stereotypes and care more about generating drama than portraying the genuine lives of the cast. Is the aim truly about sharing their honest stories, or is it just about catching the most sensational moments to keep viewers hooked? For instance, back in 2017, Refinery 29 released an article questioning, is the series merely exploiting its cast for conflict, instead of sharing their authentic, meaningful stories? This isn't just one person's view. Many believe these shows emphasize drama much more than showing what these stars are really like. It's amusement, but at whose cost? And it doesn't stop there. In 2019, Desiree Lindsay posted a blog about Little Women Dallas and had some strong critiques. She described the show as voyeuristic, meaning it's more about observing people's private lives for entertainment than truly sharing their stories. She also noted how the show at times portrays the cast as exotic and racialized, like they're framed in ways meant to incite drama, not to honor them. It's not just about them being actual individuals, it's about creating a show that will spark talk. That's where things start to feel wrong. Not everyone sees it that way. Tara Hole, a major personality on the show, defended it in 2019. She shared with Page Six that even though reality TV fame is difficult, the show has genuinely helped more. What do you feel? Were the women of Little Women Atlanta taken advantage of by the show? Do you think the directors went too far, or was it all just part of the reality TV formula? Share your views in the comments section, and hey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of the spicy updates. Believe me, this story is just heating up, and I'll be right here bringing you the newest info.